Hey guys, it's me Joy again, and today is So on today's web show, we are stepping out of the city life and into the sandy scenes of Earth's coast, where we will pose a question.
What is the relationship between the tides and the moon?
But before I start soaking your brains up with all this knowledge, I actually want to know what the general public, viewers out there, know about the tides and the moon. So for that, I sent out my correspondent Brian to go ask locals of Seal Beach and find out what they know about the moons and the tides.
Rachel, you know what the neap tide is?
I feel like I remember this from like science class, like way back when.
Isn't it with the different phases of the moon?
I'm blanking right now.
When the moon is higher, then the tide is lower. No, it's something like that. I'm not sure.
So to further our understanding of the moon and the tides and their relationship, we need more laws of science to help us understand and grasp how and why the moon affects our waves. And for that, we have Sid the scientist with more information.
So I hear you guys are talking about the moon and the tides. Well, I think you guys need to know a couple precautions before you start talking. When talking about the moon and the tides, we gotta understand gravity. And to understand gravity, we gotta understand Newton's laws. Specifically, Newton's third law of gravity. So, that there, folks, was gravity. Newton's third law explains the interaction between two objects. You see, the ball exerts a force on my head equal to the force that my head exerts on the ball. This can result from contact interactions like frictional forces, or at a distance interactions like gravitational and magnetic forces. However, folks, this law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Therefore, if object A has a pull on object B, then object B will have the same amount of push upon object A. Now, let's move on to the first law. This law states that an object at rest stays at rest and an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. It is an object's nature to resist changes in their set of motion. Resist. This resistance is called inertia. Thanks, folks, for listening to me, and Joy for having me on your nice little web show.
Thanks, Sid. So now we know Newton's laws. But how do those laws interact and work into the relationship between the moon and the tides? To tie everything together, here's Mother Moon to tell us all about their interaction.
Salutations, Earthlings. I am the Moon Goddess, Mother Moon to you all, and I'm here to explain to you what attraction, gravity, and inertia all have to do with the moon and the tides. Here are two objects, the Earth and the Moon. According to the law of attraction, these two objects interact through action at distance, which results in a gravitational force. So, as we can conclude from Sid the scientist, the Earth is going to be pulling the Moon towards itself, and the Moon is going to be pulling the Earth towards itself. The gravitational force exerted onto the Moon from the Earth can be helpful when dealing with the orbit of the Moon and the Earth. However, it is the Moon's gravitational force exerted upon the Earth, as well as some help from inertia, that creates the tides we see. Now, to make things easier to visualize, I'm going to extend out the water surrounding the Earth. The side of the Earth closest to the Moon, which would be the later hours of the day when the Moon is out, is going to experience a greater gravitational pull than the other sides of the Earth. As a result, the Earth and the water on this side are going to be pulled outwards towards the Moon, creating a bulge. However, on the opposite side of the Earth, where the Moon is not out and gravity is not as strong, inertia causes the water to try and stay in motion, which in turn creates another bulge extending outwards to keep the water in a straight line. These large bulges are called high tides, while these are low tides. Tides follow the Moon. High tide, low tide. High tide, low tide. The Moon does not return to its same position above Earth for 24 hours and 50 minutes. As a result, coasts will typically experience 2 high tides and 2 low tides a day at 12-hour and 25-minute intervals. And I leave you with that and send you back to joy.
Thanks, Mother Moon. So with the help of Sid the scientist and Mother Moon, I hope you guys now have a better understanding of how the moon and the tides relationship work and how the moon affects the tides and create the waves that we enjoy today. So before I end the show today, my friend Mohammed wanted to add some more extra facts about the tides and the moons. Enjoy.
I'm Mohammed, and I'm here to talk to you about spring tides and neap tides. Spring tides are when the sun and the moon align with each other, thus creating a greater gravitational pull, making high tides higher and low tides lower. And as for neap tides are when the moon and the sun are 90 degrees from each other, thus balancing out the gravitational forces, making high tides and low tides moderate.
So I hope you guys learned a lot today, and I hope you guys liked this video. And if you guys liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And with that, I say...